Jai, it's been a few years since you've been in Australia fighting. What does it mean to be coming home?
Feels good, man. Feels good to be back in Australia, fighting back home, being a part of one of the biggest cards. You know, it's exciting. You know, we've waited for this time for quite a while now. You know, Tasman fighters and myself putting on another, you know, bringing a world title shot here. So it's good.
Yeah. Some real, I guess, emotional memories, isn't it? Your last time here, Jai, you know, breaking your jaw, winning the world title that night. What does that, when you look back at that moment, what does that mean in your career and what you did that night?
It's a huge milestone. You know, it was a huge step in my career, and you know, to come back to feel like not where it all started, but where a big chapter of, you know, the international sort of took off, and winning the world title, and then being able to bring it back here and defend it against a good opponent. You know, he's #1 demandatory, so it's exciting. You know, these are the fight nights we've been waiting for, and these are the big, you know, Australian fight nights that we've always wanted to take part in.
Do you want to make a statement here, Jai? Like, I think he's got early round knockouts. He's pretty dangerous, but do you really want to make a statement for the Aussie fans and put this bloke away?
Every time we step in the ring, we want to make statements. You know, every time we step in the ring, we want to prove why we're the best, why people call me, you know, the best cruiserweight in the world. We got to keep proving that. You know what I mean? Like, your last fights are your last fights, but every fight counts. You know, and we're chasing these unification fights as well. So every win, you know, it's a must win. You know, losing is not an option for us. So, you know, whether it's a knockout or by points, we have to get our hand raised at the end of it.
Yeah. What's the long-term goal, Jai? Is undisputed? Is that the next goal for you?
Definitely. We've been chasing these unification fights for quite a while, but you know, we've got a mandatory first, and he's a serious fight, so we're not taking him lightly. You know, this is our full focus, January 8th, and then you know, we've got a good fight on our hands. You know, and it's here on home soil, so you know, it means a lot. We're very focused.
Yeah. So you
mentioned it might be the last time for a while you fight in Australia. Is it a little bit sad once you reach that point in your career where you've kind of outgrown fights at home?
I don't think I've outgrown fights at home. You know, I feel like Australia always has the potential to put on big fights, but it's just about Australia sort of working together to make these things happen. You know what I mean? There's more that, you know, promoters and you know, streaming outlets and stuff like that are here in Australia. They need to work together for these fights to happen. You know, there's more than one promotion that fights here in Australia, and I think Australia needs to see that. So, you know, if we don't do these things and work together and bring these big fight nights here to Australia, then we're going to be forced to sort of have these big fights overseas. But as long as everyone is here for the right reasons and everyone's here to build the sport of boxing, then this could be a regular thing, you know, bringing these big world title fights here. And these are the things that we're proud of, you know, headlining them, but also opening doors for more fighters. You know, it's a big thing for Australian boxing.
Hard to compete with the Saudis at the moment, though.
It is, but if we represent and show what our country can do, there's no stopping of why we can't bring a Riyadh season here to Australia. You know, we just need that backing, and that's why we're trying to lay that platform and sort of just get the foot in the door for these things to sort of happen. And I feel like we're getting closer to getting these things done.
How have you found fighting in Saudi, Jai?
I love it. You know, it's professional. You know, everything's 5-star, from the food to the accommodation to the transportation to being places on time, everything running smoothly. It's professional, and that's where we are at the moment. We're professional fighters. You know, we train professional, we live professional, and it's good just to be around other professionals.
You're 26-0 now, Jai. Do you feel we haven't seen the best of you yet?
Definitely. I feel like we're just progressing. We're getting better. You know, it's exciting. I feel like every fight that I have, I'm learning a lot as well. You know, being back with the old man as my coach, we're progressing as well. We're adding more to the game, so it's just exciting. You know, I keep saying the word exciting, but it's just, you know, it's the future. Just who knows? You know what I mean? We actually are capable of bringing big fights here and unifying the division. You know, so it's just huge. So we've got a lot of hard work to do, but it's exciting.
Do you think you'll go to heavyweight one day, Jai? Do you think you're big enough to go to the heavyweight?
Further down the track, I feel like we'll make that heavyweight move, but you know, we still got a lot of boxes to tick. You know, I'll make cruiserweight pretty easy. You know, we got, like I said, unification fights, and being the undisputed cruiserweight champion is my goal. You know, and until I've done that, then the heavyweight fights are just talk.
You mentioned like a Riyadh season card in Australia. Do you think that's realistic? Is that something that you've spoken with them about?
Definitely, it's definitely realistic. You know, and Australia just needs to, you know, show the support and get behind these things. And I feel like just having a full Aussie stacked card of the best fighters fight all the other, you know, whether it just be a 5v5 against like the UK or, you know, anyone, any of them, bring them on, you know what I mean? But the Aussies can do it. And I feel like if we all just work together and the fighters fight on the same cards, it's what it's all about, you know, and we can sort of make history as well as fighters.
Would you love to have Tim Tszyu on a card with you?
Definitely, man. I'd love to share a card with Tim Tszyu. You know, I've said it a few times, but we've been fighting on the same card since we were little kids. You know, fighting in the same team as New South Wales, and then we worked our way up from a 14-year-old boy. You know, and then I see him headlining cards. It's awesome, bro. Well, you know, me and my team, we back him 100%. So to be able to sort of make history together would be, it. You know, it's from the little kids to where we are now. It's crazy.
With Tim's last fight, that might be like a cautionary tale for a lesser known opponent who's a dangerous puncher and potentially not taking it as seriously as he should have. Is that something that you've got in the back of your mind, making sure you train as hard as you possibly can?
We always train hard. We always are ready for anything that comes in the ring. You know, it's not accident that we're here. It's not accident that we're world champions. You know, we train and prepare like world champions. So we just got to do it all again. Get in those trenches, train hard, and the hard work speaks for itself.
I know you said all your focus is on unifying the cruiserweight title, but you know, they're out. Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson last weekend. He said he'd like to fight Canelo at cruiserweight. Would you be open to a fight against Jake Paul?
I'm not here to call out Jake Paul. You know, I feel like they're in a different business to us. All I'm interested in is becoming the best fighter in the world. They're the most famous fighter, you know what I mean? I feel like it's two different businesses, so, you know, I'm chasing unification fights.
Do you think he'd ever fight someone like you?
Who knows?
Good. Ty coming home to Australia for a world title fight.
It's everything, you know, like Jai, he hasn't fought here over 2 years. You know, Jai's been around the world. He's fought against, you know, the best cruiserweights available. So yeah, this is massive for Jai and massive for Australian sport. You know, like this particular fight is a mandatory IBF world title, so he has to have that mandatory fought by the 20th of January. So that's why it's sort of a little rush, but you know, it's a good opportunity to bring Jai back to Australia and show the Australian public a world-class event.
Yeah. Do you feel he's Australia's best fighter now, Mick?
Mate, he's definitely Australia's best fighter. He's not only Australia's best fighter, he's one of the best fighters around the world. So, you know, he is the champion, the king of the cruiserweights. Everyone knows that. He's the baddest cruiserweight on the planet as we speak. Yeah, but this hasn't happened overnight. You know, Jai's worked on this for a very long time. You know, as the amateur, he was 16 when he went to the Olympics. Never been done before. You'll never see it again. So, yeah, he's always been there, you know, as one of the best, you know, amateurs going around. Now one of the best professionals. But yeah, no, he's definitely you know, the best, you know, fighter in Australia, if not around the world.
Yeah. There's a great history here too, isn't there, Mick, where he fought for his world title here 2 years ago, and it was a pretty momentous night for what he did.
It was a massive night, yeah. Look, it was a packed out crowd. You know, Jai, as everyone knows, he broke his jaw in the third round on the left and the ninth round on the right side. So he went full 12 rounds and won the fight against, you know, one of the best cruiserweights in the last 10 years in Maris Breedis. So, yeah, look, you know, Jai, you know, he's you know, he definitely deserves to come back to Australia and fight in front of his friends and family and the boxing fans here in Australia.
What do you know of his opponent, Mick Cinkara?
Yeah, Cinkara, he's you know, he's 22-0, so he's the real deal. He's 22-0. He's won by 18 knockouts, so he's a knockout artist. You know, it is a mandatory, so we've been told to fight this guy. It's not like we've chose this opponent. So as a mandatory, you know, we've obligated to do that fight, you know, before the 20th of January. Otherwise, Jai will be stripped as before, and as we all know, even with Jai's world title belt around his waist, it's hard to get guys in the ring now. So without a belt, it's going to be really tough to get someone in the ring to fight Jai.
Do you think he's...
Well, since his last fight here, Tim's fought a couple of times on the Gold Coast, have big crowds. Do you feel there's a big appetite for these big fights on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, look, January 8th is the date on the Gold Coast here at the Convention Centre. Now that's the week of the Magic Millions. The Gold Coast will be buzzing. Look, it's going to be one of the biggest sporting events of the year in 2025. But yeah, definitely, there's, the Gold Coast should be the Las Vegas of boxing here in Australia. And I don't think there's any better place to be in January than the Gold Coast.
Do you think, would you like to see Jai get more support here in Australia, because he's one of the great athletes we've got? Like,
Yeah,
do you think...
it's a shame. Jai deserves, to be recognised as one of the best athletes in Australia. He's done a lot of work behind the scenes. Like, people don't understand how hard Jai works. Like, Jai works. He's in the gym three times a day, every day, and people don't see that and the grind. He talks about it when he gets interviewed and things like that, but people don't get it, and he deserves it, and he deserves to be recognised here in Australia as one of the best athletes of our generation. Definitely, 100%.
All good? It's good, Mick.